We're back, we're back. Vitrini, you ready for Thanksgiving, Vitrini?
If you're going to make the flower arrangements, no.
Thank you very much. For over 20 years, our next guest has been crossing over, connecting the living with their loved ones in the spiritual world. He's also an author whose second novel, Final Beginnings, is in stores now. Please welcome John Edward. Have a seat. Hi. John, don't take this the wrong way, but this is a very, very important question. Uh-oh. What does Frank Sinatra think of my show? I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I would like to know if you could fix this up for me.
I'll talk to my people.
See if I can get him as a guest. That'd be even better.
I don't know about Frank. My son's a fan.
Your son's a fan of my show? How old is he?
He's 2.
2-year-old? I have a 2-year-old fan?
Yes, you do. We watch you at home. So he's a big fan.
No kidding.
You got me in trouble, but he's a big fan.
What did I do?
Well, before Halloween, you came out as Spider-Man.
Revisiting the tights. Yes.
That was the day I believe you were saying, I never wanted an apron more than today.
That was the day.
I thought I was going to be a cool dad, and I had gotten the Spider-Man costume from my wife because Daddy had to be Spider-Man.
Right.
So I popped the Spider-Man costume on, mask. I came running out. I was like, Justin, Daddy's Spider-Man. And he turned around and gave me this horrific look of horror and sheer panic and screamed out, I did poopies.
That's when you know you've scared them. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Well, listen, I'm sorry about that. I scared myself with that stupid outfit. Anyway, so you're a fellow New Yorker. You're a Long Island guy.
I'm a Long Island guy.
Where in Long Island?
Originally grew up in Glen Cove, and now I'm out in Huntington.
Oh, no kidding. You know, I went to high school in Malvern. You know, I'm a Brooklyn boy who ended up in Malvern, but I love Long Island.
It's a great place.
Yeah, it's great. So, all right. So, I want to be honest, and in total disclosure, I'm a little skeptical about this because my mother, I know my mother, she would have made it somehow. If anybody could have made it back. I actually had a dream that my mother got caught trying to get back. And they took away her privileges.
Like other side customs?
Yeah, she's in solitary confinement now, my mother.
No, they probably have a cooking.
Yeah, probably. But that would be punishment. She wasn't great. But when did you discover, first of all, that you had this ability?
I was about 15 years old. I was I would say a very skeptical person myself. My mother, her mom, my grandmother, they used to have psychics come to the house all the time. My father, when he was alive, was a New York City police officer, military guy. Not a believer.
Yeah, I can see trying to convince him it was hard.
Not a believer at all. And basically, I wasn't allowed to be around the subject matter as a kid growing up. And then as I got older, my mother would just say, don't tell your father, it's not worth the argument. But I adopted his kind of my mother and grandma about this, and I didn't really buy into it. And then they had a woman by the name of Lydia Clark, who was a psychic. She came to the house.
She's a famous psychic, am I right?
She's nationally known.
Right.
And she came to the house, and she didn't really do that at that time. And she told my mother she would come under one condition, and my mother said, what? She said, I want to meet your son. And my mom thought that was a dangerous thing because I was the obnoxious 15-year-old always going, do-do-do-do-do, like making fun of the subject matter.
Right.
But she said to me, be on your best behavior, don't tell your father, and don't embarrass me because this woman's become a friend. And I was like, whatever. And then I wound up having a reading that day. And she was very accurate, and she told me then, that was 1985, that I would be an internationally known psychic, I would lecture around the world, be on television and write books. And I remember thinking, okay, how psychic could this lady actually be?
Yeah, really.
Because I don't believe in what she's doing, why would she try to get me to join a club?
So let me ask you, is there a different, I'm trying to think what you feel. I'm trying to feel what you feel, trying to understand what is it like to be...
It's really natural, and that's one of the things that, one of the reasons why I agreed to kind of take this work more publicly is to educate people that, one, you don't need a psychic, and two, you don't need a medium. You can actually connect with this energy in your own lives if you recognize it. So if you raise your level of awareness and understand it, you can recognize how your own mother or your family, your grandparents, whether it be a song on the radio, a dream. Dreams are really, really big. Not every time you have a dream of somebody is it them coming through to you. But then there's those moments where there are visits, and it's a very, very profound thing where you know that it's them.
Yeah, I just got an email from my brother, my younger brother, and he said he just had one of those dreams where he said I was so comfortable. I was with him. He was talking about my father, and it was. Look, I think we'd all love to would I love to talk to them right now, you know. I'd love to know what my mother thought that Tony Bennett was on the show. You know, it would be like a big thing.
But how cool is that? Is to know that, you know, just maybe. And I think it's important to be skeptical. And I say this, I do this work, and to this day I'm still skeptical. But there's a difference between being skeptical and cynical. And I don't think you're cynical. I think you're skeptical. And I think everybody should of the subject matter. Right. This way you really appreciate the experience when it happens.
Well, listen, I'm a little short on time. You got to come back and talk to me more about this, because I'm really, this is, you know. By the way, his book, Final Beginnings, which we didn't get to talk about either, is in stores now. And to find out if John is coming to your area, log on to johnedward.net. So we'll be right back. John, thank you so much.
What makes a good neighbor